The mansion was always quiet, not a peaceful quiet, but the kind that felt heavy, like a blanket of snow. Taehyung moved toward the grand kitchen, preparing a lunchbox. With their cheerful hands, he cut the kimbap into little star shapes, just the way Soobin liked. From the giant window, he saw the black car pulled up. His heart did its usually silly little jump. Jungkook stepped out, his suits perfect, his face like a beautiful. They took a deep breath and walked to the entrance. The meet ran late. The teacher need the science project from sign. Jungkook's voice was calm, direct. He didn't look at Taehyung, not really. His eyes scanned the meal on the side table. I'll sign it later. Lunch is ready. Soobin, how was school? The little boy looked at the floor, shuffling his feet. It was okay. He didn't call him Eomma. He never did. For 2 years since Jungkook married Tae, in a quiet, vertical ceremony, it had always been just Taehyung. Sometimes not even that. Just a silent look. I made star kimbap. Soobin's eyes were sparkled up for a second, a tiny spark of joy, before he nodded and walked past Taehyung to the kitchen. Jungkook finally looked at him for a brief second. They saw him sometime. Tiredness maybe. The star was made of vegetables, all healthy. Jungkook just gave him a short hum and walked toward his office. The door closed with a soft click that echoed in the hallway. My heart aches for Tae here. He tries so hard, doesn't he? He pours all his love into his house, but it feels like shouting in a void. He married Jungkook knowing it was for Soobin to have a garden while Jungkook worked, but somewhere along the way, the heart decided to get involved. A dangerous thing when you are living with a man made of ice and a little boy who won't call you mom. That evening, Taehyung was in the art room, a small sunlit space he calmed as his own. He was painting, typing to pouring the grey of the day out of the canvas. His best friend Jimin's video call. Hey, your face is telling me a sad story. What happened? Nothing new, Jimin. The quite same day. Soobin drew a family picture at school today. And it was him, Cook, and his birth mother. I was the sun in the sky. His voice cracked, and Jungkook's face was soft. Oh, the boy loves you. He just doesn't know how to say it. His father has built a walls around both of them. How do I climb those walls, Jimin? My hands are getting tired. Just then a small shadow appeared at the door. Soobin stood there, holding the stuffed rabbit. I had a bad dream. It was a simple statement, but it was the first time he came to Taehyung for comfort. He opened his arms. Soobin hesitated, then shuffled forward toward Tae, pulling him into a gentle hug. They smoothed his hair, humming a soft song. He didn't say it's okay, Ma. He just hummed, for the darkness hallway unseen by both. Jungkook watched. He had come to check on the son. He saw the way Taehyung held Soobin, the tender way his large hand patted the small back. He saw the pure love on Taehyung's eyes. The weekend arrived. Jungkook was as usual, working in his home office. Sojin, his brother, had invited him over, as he needed real food, not just Taehyung's sad leftover, which was a joke because he loved the cooking. What's my favorite nephew? Soobin came running and launched himself at his uncle. They smiled from the sofa, watching them. Jin always brought noise and warmth into the house, and my favorite brother-in-law, Taehyung. You look too thin. Is Jungkook not feeding you? I'll beat him up. Taehyung, you say that every time. Jin put Soobin down and sat next to Tae. His voice was dropping. No, seriously, how are you? And don't say fine. They look into his hand. He trusts Jin. I feel like a ghost town, a very useful who make star kimbabs in science school forms. Jin sighed, wrapping an arm around him. That kid, he confused. He was so young when his mother left. Uncle, he built walls around that. He thinks showing feeling is a weakness. He married you because you were kind and good for Soobin. I don't think he even planned on feeling anything. I know, but I didn't plan on feeling anything either. Just then, Jungkook walked into the living room. He saw Jin arms around Taehyung. Taehyung, don't you have a company to run? Jin grinded, not moving. I'm giving your husband emotional support. Since someone is here, emotionally available, is a brick wall. Jungkook's jaw was tight. He looked at Taehyung. We are going out tonight for dinner, all three of us. It wasn't a question, it was a command. Taehyung blinked in surprise. We are. Yes, at 7. Be ready. He walked away. Jin raised an eyebrows at Taehyung. Well, the brick wall just developed a crack. Interesting. Did you see that? Jungkook feels something. He saw Taehyung being comforted, and it triggered something in him. He didn't understand it. So does he? What do you know? It takes change. Family dinner, it's a start, right? The dinner was at a fancy restaurant. Soobin on the best behavior. Ivo. They feel awkward in his nice clothes, sitting around with Jungkook, who was scrolling through his phone. Soobin, try the pasta. It's good. He fed the boy. Soobin smiled. A real smile. It's yummy. Jungkook put his phone down, watching the interaction. He could feed himself. I know, but it's nice sometime. Their eyes met across the table. For the first time, Jungkook didn't look away immediately. They saw a question in his eyes, a confusion. Why do you do that? Do what? All of it. The shapes in the lunchbox, the hugs after nightmares, the patience. The heart hummed. It said softly only for Jungkook to hear. Because I love him. The words hanging in the air. He didn't say because I love you too. But the unspoken part seems to be visible between them. Jungkook started his food forgotten. He opened his mouth to say something, but Soobin spilled his water, and the moment broke. Later at home, they were tugging Soobin into the bed. Taehyung, yes, sweetheart. Today was fun. It was. We should do it again. Soobin nodded sleepingly. Then he whispered so quiet Taehyung almost missed it. Good night, Eomma. He immediately rolled over, hiding his face into the pillow, as if scared of his own words. They froze. Tears bubbled up immediately. A flood of warm emotions. He didn't make a big deal. He just leaned over, kissing his head, and whispered back in his voice, Good night, my precious son. He left the room leaning against the door, crying silent, happy tears. He didn't see Cook standing at the end of the hall. Having heard everything, Jungkook's own eyes were wide with shock, and then a deep, unfamiliar warmth spread through his chest, melting a little more of ice inside it. It's okay, we're safe. They gathered him in his arms, wrapping them both in the blanket. They light candles. His phones were ringing. It was Jungkook. The flight is cancelled. The storm is bad there. Are you okay? Is Soobin okay? For the first time, his voice wasn't calm. It was with worry. We're scared, but we're okay. The power is cut. Put me on the speaker. They did, and Soobin sniffed. Appa is here. Be brave for Taehyung, okay? Listen to him. He will keep you safe. Hearing his father's voice, Soobin calmed a little. Appa, come home. I will, as soon as I can. A pause, then Taehyung's voice softer. Thank you. The call ended. Those two words echoed in the dark. Thank you. It felt more like than anything he had ever said. To distracted Soobin, Taehyung started telling him the stories by candlelight. Funny voice, grand adventure. Soobin tears turned into giggles. They built a pillow into a living room. In that cocoon of fabric, and the words outside didn't matter. Soobin half asleep curled into Taehyung's side. Eomma, your stories are the best. This time he didn't hide. He said it and fell asleep. They held him closer, crying again. But this time his heart was full of love. He didn't hear the front door open. Near midnight, the storm had eased slightly. Jungkook had driven through the dangerous road, taking every risk to get home. He stood still and tried to the entrance of the living room. He saw the pillow fort. He saw his son sleeping peacefully in his arms of the man who had brought light to their darkness night. The love in the scenes was so bright. It was almost building. All the Jungkook balls. They looked up and saw him. Their eyes were locked. Cook walked over. His quiet steps. He didn't say a word. He just knelt down in front of the pillow, reached out and kept their face with his cold, wet hands. He wiped away the tears with a thumb. I'm home. And in those two words, they heard everything. I saw you. I need you. I'm sorry. The morning after the storm was bright and clear. They walked up in the living room floor, stiff but warm. He hauled Jungkook to the kitchen, already dressed for the work but making coffee. He looked tired, but his eyes was different, softer. You stayed? I slept in the armchair. He didn't want to disturb the work. He handed Taehyung a mug of coffee, a finger brush. He called you Eomma. It was a statement, not a question. They noted in his heart. It sounds right. They cannot speak. Jungkook looked at him, really looked at him, as if seeing him for the first time. The messy morning hair, the sleepy eyes, the man who held his words together. I have to go to the office, but I'll be back early. We'll have dinner just us. He left, but the air in the house had changed. It was no longer heavy. It was light, full of possibilities. The day passed in happy days, but Jungkook came home early through the woods. What are you painting? They tried to cover the canvas. Nothing important. Jungkook gently moved his hand aside. The painting was a three-figure. On a bench, a sunset, a tall man, a smaller and fluffy hair, a little boy between them, holding both their hands. It was their family, the family they had dreamed of. Jungkook stared at it for a long time. His thoughts moved as he swallowed. It's perfect. He turned to face him. He kneeled again, just like at the nurse light before. This time he took both the hand in his. I have been a fool. I brought you into the house and asked you to take care of my son. But I gave you nothing in return, not even my respect. I was cold, but I was afraid. Afraid of what? Of this. He brought the hand to his own chest, over his heart, which was beating wildly. Of feeling this again. It's terrifying. But last night seeing you too, I wasn't afraid anymore. I just wanted to be with you. Dim tears were falling freely now. Cook, I don't know how to do this, to be a husband, a real one, but I wanted to learn with you. If you let me, it was the most valuable anyone to ever see in John Jungkook. He leaned forward, resting his forehead against him. It was a simple touch, but it felt more than a kiss. I have been waiting, not for an apology, just for you to see me. I see you now, Taehyung. I see all of you. The next few weeks are beautiful. Slow downs. Jungkook coming home for dinner every day. He asked about their paintings. He listened. He helped putting Soobin to bed. A large hand awkward but stroked his son's hair. One evening, Jimin and Yoongi came over for a game night. Yoongi observed the change with a knowing smirk. So the great Jungkook finally learned how to smile. It's a miracle. Jimin smiled, Taehyung hugged tightly. Your eyes are shining, Tae. I'm so happy for you. The biggest change was with Soobin. He was now called Eomma freely, proudly. It was they heard so every single time. One night, after Soobin was asleep, they and Jungkook sat on the balcony under the sky. They were close, they shouldered together. This feels like a dream. I'm scared to wake up. It's not a dream. Jungkook turned to him. The moonlight lighted his handsome face. I made a mistake, Tae. Our marriage contract. It was for 2 years. It almost up. The blood ran cold. He had forgotten that cold piece of paper. They started it all. I don't want to end it. He reached into the pocket and pulled out a small velvet box. This isn't a business arrangement. This is a question for me. Jungkook, the man who is desperately in love with his husband. He opened the box inside. It was a simple, beautiful, silver brand. Kim Taehyung, will you marry me? Again. For real this time. For love. They was crying, laughing, nodded, all at once. Yes. 1,000 times yes. Jungkook slid a ring into the finger and then pulled into a hug so tight it took his breath away. Then he leaned back, cuddled their face, and finally, after 2 long years, he kissed him. It's not a gentle. It was deep, full of passion, longing, and all the words they hadn't slide. It was a promise. When they parted, both were breathless. I love you. I should have said it every day. You're saying it now. That's all that matters. The wedding was small, in the garden, with just family and close friends. Soobin was the bride. Within the first time, Jungkook's voice was steady, full of emotion. Faye, you taught me the family isn't just a duty, it's a choice you make every day. You choose us when you didn't know how to choose you. You taught my son about love. You taught me how to feel again. I want to choose you every single day for the rest of my life. There wasn't a dry ice in the house. Even Yoongi was sniffing. After the ceremony, as the sun set, they all sat together. Jin, Jimin, Yoongi, the new little family. Soobin was playing with their new toy, but he kept looking at the parents, smiling. Later, they was in what was now in their bedroom, looking at his wedding band. Jungkook came in, closed the door softly. He walked over, wrapped his arms around Tae from behind, resting his chin in his shoulder. Happy, the happiest. There was a soft knock. Soobin peeked in, his big eyes. Ma, can I sleep here tonight? Just tonight. They looked at Jungkook, smiled and nodded. Jungkook reached over and held their hand, their lying tongue resting over their son. It's the warm, quiet room. The silent house was finally complete, filled with the sound of love, of family, of a little boy called him Stepmom, and with two hearts beating as one.